Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer picks out there. I'm Andrew Passaro alongside Ani Sridhar. You can follow the podcast at the Plus Money Pod, at Anis323, at Andrew Passaro for myself. It's been a little while. We've taken a little break. And for those of you watching on a new platform, we're finally on YouTube, or eventually we'll be on YouTube when I figure out how to create an account and edit a little video. But this is our maiden voyage on YouTube. So welcome to everybody. I'm still a little unsure what we're doing with the video, but you know what's going on. We got picks for you today. We've had a little bit of off time. The Premier League is off with FA Cup. We've got League Cup games in the midweek. Prem will be back soon. We'll have picks for you, but here we are early January, and we decided, you know what, it's time to go look at some futures again. We did one at the beginning of the season. What's a better time than now? We got the middle of the transfer window, but how are we doing, Ani? How are you?
Doing great, man. I mean, we just had FA Cup here this past weekend. I came out just slightly profitable because I bet the over on the Chelsea game against Chesterfield or some. I don't know. All I know is they won 5-1 and I had the over. That was fantastic. Arsenal sucks, and I had them in my money line parlay today, and they lost to freaking Nottingham Forest, so they're out. Their only hopes of a cup this season now rely on the Carabao Cup, which is this week. They will play Liverpool in their semifinal matchup. Chelsea will take on Tottenham in the second leg of that after they beat them in the first leg 2-0, I believe, at the end of the day after an own goal, which was hysterical, by the way.
Great.
But that was
very
fantastic.
Funny. Very
But
funny.
yeah, so Arsenal's only cup hopes now rest on the Carabao Cup because they're not winning the EPL title. That is not one of the futures that we will have for you today.
No, I'll go first. We'll start with the Champions League, which will be returning in about a month is when we get to our group.
Right when AFCON ends, UCL will be back,
which is huge. Now, I thought about going through some of these matches and being like, oh, I like this team to advance. But with the amount of COVID we've seen whipping around, especially England and other parts of Europe, I think doing any individual game prop right now would just be the wrong idea. We've got to give people here something they can win. So we'll start. We're just going to go to the big one. Who's going to win the whole thing? I've got two for you, and I'm going to start with my beloved Liverpool. You can get them at plus 550 in most books right now. And the way that they've been playing has been very good this year. They might not be on Manchester City's level in the Premier League. However, with what they're doing in the Champions League, they won 6 of 6 in a very tough group. They're going to play against Inter Milan again. And this is a good Inter Milan team, but not exactly an Inter Milan team that scares me. Mo Salah is trying to go out and win Ballon d'Or. You've got Sadio Mane, who's always plays well for Liverpool in Europe. This is a very good Liverpool team. I'm not really worried about Inter. I think there'll be a lot of goals in this tie for them, but they have the pieces to go all the way. You've got the spine. You've got Fabinho. You've got the goalkeeper in Alisson Becker. You've got Virgil van Dijk. Konate starting to play at a top-tier level if you're not playing Matip. And look, you've still got the goal scorer and Mo Salah. So to say that they could get all the way it's a solid pick. And I think that they're going to start shifting their focus to Europe sooner rather than later as Manchester City continues to pull ahead. So I love Liverpool at plus 550. That's if I was going to bet on an English team, it'd be Liverpool or Chelsea. And frankly, with everything going on with Chelsea with Lukaku over the last week plus, I'm going to buy Liverpool more than buy Chelsea. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I actually like that. I wrote up a Champions League futures piece, and that was one of my sleepers there, Liverpool, to win it all. And I put a disclaimer, as a Chelsea fan, I can't count out the form that Liverpool's been in, and Chelsea's also not been in, I guess, in a way, in a word, They just are not looking like the dominant side that won the Champions League last year, but who knows, Chelsea can always click at some point and just, stifle you on the defensive end and on the counter could score. They had the guys who can score. It's just a matter of will they score. My big future here to win it is probably going to be Ajax at plus 1,400. This is a team that we kind of fell in love betting on their overs in the group stage. They were just running through their competition. I mean, they went through a group with Dortmund. They didn't lose at all in the group stage. They beat Dortmund by a lot. I mean, they dogged Besiktas. They dogged Lisbon, and they get now Benfica in the next round. That should be a walk in the park for Ajax. And I've seen rumors that they're looking to potentially snag Steven Bergwijn from Tottenham. I don't know if that would go through or if he would be able to play in this Champions League or if
He'll be
that's
able to
more of
play.
a
He'll be able to play. They got rid of that rule, much like they got rid of away goals. If you've already been registered for another club, he'd be able to play. And Tottenham are in the Europa Conference League, so he hasn't been registered in the Champions League.
That's the only thing I didn't look into too much. So like if they got him too, that would be another offensive piece to that Ajax attack, which I think would just make them dangerous. And a team that found one of the top sides here, like City, Liverpool, Bayern, Chelsea, PSG. That's a team I don't want to run into because Ajax could absolutely destroy you, especially with the no away goals now. I mean, all they have to do is run up a score at home and they're through. So I like Ajax at plus 1,400 to win it all. I think that's a decent future right there. $10 on it.
Yeah, I would love to get Ajax to go to the semifinals. I don't know what book has that. I looked around for it earlier, but wasn't seeing it in a couple of the places that I did look. I would love to bet on that. I just don't know where I could get that and what I could get that at. I think if you can get that anywhere over, you'll get that at over plus 200 just because it's Ajax. I would absolutely invest heavily in that. I am going to go to a more traditional favorite, and it's a team who won it just 2 years ago. And I'm going to Bayern Munich plus 350 for them to win the whole thing.
I'm right on you with that. Right.
It just feels like a safe pick. They're still getting some pushback week in, week out in the Bundesliga. They're eventually going to win it, but they've got an insanely deep squad, a team that's done it before. Again, Robert Lewandowski, just like most laws, on a revenge tour after missing out on, he really missed out on Ballon d'Or. He would have won it had COVID-19 not happened. The fact that they just canceled it because of COVID-19 is one of the dumbest things I've seen in sports in a while. This team has all of it, whether it's in midfield, whether it's in the back. Manuel Neuer is still a top tier goalkeeper. You got Lewandowski, you've got Leroy Sané. I love Serge Gnabry. You got Thomas Muller. I don't need to tell you who they have. This is an incredible squad.
They just had a bad loss though, and they just did just have a bad loss to kickstart the 2022 Bundesliga. They lost to
Gladbach. Yeah, which so I'll say this though. Bayern is like Bayern to me is kind of like Alabama in, college football, in the sense that it's like they need some pushback from the SEC every now and then to kind of remind them, hey, like you can't half-ass this. And I think that's a big thing for Bayern playing back their games back in Germany. But
they're getting healthy. They're getting healthy. Kimmich is back. Goretzka will be healthy by the time the Champions League fixtures are back too. So couple key pieces there in the mid for Bayern, and that was going to be my next pick there, plus 350 Bayern to win it all. It's just too easy. I don't know why they're not the favorites and City is. It's just a little strange to me, but hey, I'm not going to complain. That's value here on our side, right? Plus 350. 100%. That's 100% a bet I will be backing. One more here. Atletico Madrid to qualify plus 120. Man United look awful. They look absolutely awful. Even under their new manager, Ralph Rangnick, they look awful. And
a whole bunch of players will leave.
You're telling me Atletico gets to go first leg at home, set the tone and then they go to United, where if they're coming off a 1-0, 2-0 victory at home, they can just park the freaking bus and just play to a draw. That's Diego Simeone's dream scenario right there. That all he needs is a draw to go through. I absolutely love this for Atletico at plus 120 to qualify. That's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I like that too. My one thing is that Atleti have struggled at times in Spain. I think that's going to be that is one of those. That bet does not smell good, is what I'll say.
Ronaldo's had their number in the Champions League.
Yeah, he has.
It's their due. Atletico is due against Ronaldo. I will say that.
That is one of those bets that you make it and you hold your nose and you don't necessarily watch it, because with the way that United's playing and the way that Atletico's playing and the way Atletico played in Champions League already this year, those are not going to be fun games. Like, there are going to be plenty of fun round of 16 games in Champions League. That will not be one of them. I'm going to go to the EPL because I'm not just going to give you other guys who I like as long shot winners to win the Champions League. So I've got a couple in the Premier League, and I'm going to start with a team who's had a lot of business, who's been doing a lot of business in Europe, and that's Aston Villa. Aston Villa to finish in the top 10 is at plus 145. They just signed Philippe Coutinho on loan from Barcelona, reunites with Steven Gerrard, who he used to play with when he was at Liverpool, and potentially Lucas Digne from Everton will join as well. Very talented left
Nah,
back.
unless he joins Chelsea.
Everything I'm reading says Villa, man. Fabrizio Romano's on it. It sounds like they've been negotiating, and it sounds like they've outpriced Chelsea.
That oil money might kick in.
I
At
think you're
any
gonna call
time.
back
At any
Emerson.
point, that oil money might.
I think
We do have a glaring need for a left back, especially
Yeah.
with the Chilwell injury. It's absolutely glaring. Alonso cannot hold it down.
I think it
refuse.
makes more sense for you guys to recall Emerson from Lyon. It'll probably be less money than what Everton's offering,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have to buy him outright from Everton, where Villa can buy him outright and offer him a starting spot next year. Where if he goes to Chelsea, he's a bench player the second that Chilwell's healthy. So for him, I would probably choose Villa, and that's why. Look, I love this at plus 145. Gerrard's had them trending in a generally upward position. You bring in Coutinho, whether or not he works. He worked on loan at Bayern. This is a guy who wants to make a World Cup run with this Brazilian team. I see nothing but. I don't see how this isn't beneficial to both sides, even if it makes Buendia play harder, if it makes some of their other midfielders work harder in practice. I think this is a great move. He played well in the Premier League. He's going to have to do some more work off the ball, but he's going to have to do that to make this World Cup team. So it wasn't happening at Barca. Change of place. And I love Villa to finish in the top 10. I don't think that's asking that much. Plus 145.
That's not at all. No. So here's a kind of a gross Premier League future, but I dogged them at the beginning of this. I'm going to come back to them here. Arsenal to finish top 4 plus 200. Look, I think between United, Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal, and Leicester, Arsenal have looked the better team here in the past month or so. They look informed. They look like they're finally clicking. I think they got unlucky with the refs against City. And I think they actually could have beat Man City if they had been awarded a penalty here and there where I thought they should have been. So, I mean, once they get all their players back from AFCON and if they actually play their tier 1 lineup, I guess they lost to Nottingham Forest because they just don't have the depth to send out a C squad to win in the FA Cup, which is what led them to lose here. So I still think Arsenal can and will finish here in the top 4, and that's at plus 200. I love that value.
Yeah, I looked at that earlier. You can get Arsenal, Manchester United, Tottenham, and West Ham right all around at plus 200 to get that 4th spot.
And I think out of the 4, if we're looking at current form right now, is going to be my best bet.
I think it depends on if West Ham decide to go out and make a transfer or two. They've been linked to a couple players. I'm keen on the Hammers, but
Arsenal might also make some plays.
Arsenal also can make some noise.
Rumors are Arteta's been given the green light to empty the bank. So
the big thing too, Arsenal has that almost all of those other squads that you just mentioned. I don't think Spurs have them, but Arsenal have no European competitions to deal with, and Arsenal now have no FA Cup competitions to deal with. They've got 2, maybe 3 more matches in the Carabao Cup, but other than that, it's just Premier League for them, and it's going to be for the most part 1 game a week. And if I'm Mikel Arteta,
and United is going to be focusing on champions. Tottenham's going to be focusing.
Tottenham's EPL, man.
They got booted, dude. They got they had to forfeit because of COVID, and that led them getting booted out. So Tottenham is only on EPL now. Oh, unless they also somehow beat Chelsea in the second.
But again, that's
Cup.
2 more games. It's 2 more Carabao Cup games at most.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of congestion for their schedule. My last pick, I'm going to Brighton, and I was really hot on Brighton earlier in the year. I even saw rumors that Yves Bissouma could leave Brighton to go to Aston Villa, and that's their best player at Brighton. There's been rumors that Tariq Lamptey, their talented fullback who they signed from the Chelsea academy, could leave. With me investing in Aston Villa to go up, I looked at teams in the top 10 that I think could drop, and I love Crystal Palace, the way that they've been playing. They have a ton of players away at AFCON right now. However, I still love the general form that Palace have been in, and I don't like the way that Brighton have been playing in. I think Brighton could finish in 11th place, and the fact that you can get Brighton to finish in the bottom 10 at plus 130 is something I'm willing to invest in. So I'll be investing in that. Other futures that I had from earlier in the season that are still in play, I had Spurs to finish in the top 6. This one will probably be tougher. I don't remember what I got it at, but also I had Wolves to finish in the top 10. That looks like it's looking really good right now, barring some key injuries.
They've turned it around.
after a slow start. So yeah,
Yeah.
I do think Wolves are a safe bet to finish in the top 10. What's your last one for the day before we wrap it up?
Yeah, my last one's a little parlay, actually, a futures parlay. Chelsea, Liverpool, Ajax, all to advance in the next round of the Champions League at -115. I think that's incredibly easy. You won't even have to sweat that, to be quite honest. At a -115, I would lock that in right now. And one more future that I was looking at, but I don't think the league would allow this to happen. Newcastle to get relegated at +110.
I saw that.
But
And
I just don't think the league
that?
would make it happen. I just don't
I
think the
mean,
league would, with all this with the new ownership. I don't
the
know.
league has nothing to do with them losing games.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I will say is they did go by Kieran Trippier. They've been linked to Botman.
They're linked to a bunch of people.
They've been linked heavily to Botman, who's a talented young Dutch center back at Lille. He's at Lille. And the question I have is, I think they're going to make signings. And that is, I think, going to end up being the difference is if these guys can come in and adjust to the Premier League and adjust to this roster quickly. I think, though, every single top tier team or a team that wants to be a top team in the Premier League, we're talking Leicester, Aston Villa, West Ham, Liverpool, Manchester's United and City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, everybody who's anybody is not going to roll over against Newcastle because they know that if they can delay the inevitable spending that Newcastle are going to do once they're free. Like, I think as much as we, I noticed this as a Liverpool fan that there are certain teams that just get up harder because they were playing Liverpool and they're playing on national television in England. I really hope these teams turn it up to another level when Newcastle comes to town, because the longer we can delay the inevitable. And here we are, a Liverpool and a Chelsea fan complaining about another Newcastle, another rich team joining the party. But I don't know. I also don't think Eddie Howe's the man. I think Eddie Howe could save them from relegation. And even if they do get relegated, he'll bring them right back up. But I would love to delay that spending spree sooner rather than later. So
also one thing I haven't looked. I looked at it briefly a little while ago. I haven't gone back to it, and now I have to go look at the table again. But is it true that Blackburn is kind of crushing it in the championship? And
I don't pay attention to the championship. I'm not.
That's a little throwback. I would love to see back in the.
They really haven't been up. They've been up in a long time. I do love their jerseys and the
League One.
League One is not the championship.
That's not the championship. No.
Yeah, League One is League One.
Why do I have to scroll so far to see freaking the table for the English Championship? Whatever. This shit's stupid. I just realized there's so many freaking leagues.
Yeah, I don't watch enough championship to give out a future on it. I will say, if you can still get Inter to win Serie A at a good clip, that is something I would look at. And if you didn't invest in Real Madrid to win to win La Liga when we told you to at the beginning of the season,
we told you to. That was a gimme too.
Yeah, we told you to throw money on both
Atletico and Real
Madrid. So
also top 3 right now in championship: Bournemouth, who have recently been in the Premier League, Blackburn.
Haven't been up in a long time,
and Fulham. With West Brom and QPR just kind of creeping.
I know West Brom just signed. I'd love to see West Brom come up because they signed Daryl DK, but at the same time, I'd rather see him playing somewhere consistently. I don't know if he's ready for the Prem, but we'll see how he does in this second half of the season for the championship. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. So hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify. I don't care. Just help, find the pod, send it to whoever who's looking to get good soccer bets. We'll have Premier League stuff. I think we have a Premier League weekend next weekend. If not, it's another FA Cup weekend. I don't remember. Everything's weird right now.
Follow me on Twitter at Honestly23. Yeah. I'll be betting on the FA Cup. My degeneracy knows no bounds.
Yeah, mine.
So if you want plays, hit me up.
I've been on such a hot streak that I've been trying not to jinx it. So that's why I've been staying away from. You know what I mean? Like.
If I'm on a hot streak, I ride it till it dies.
Oh no, I'm trying to invest wisely, man. All right, well, follow us at Andrew Passaro, at the Plus Money Pod, at Honest323, and as always, let's go get some wins.